Hello and thank you for joining me. So this is a special tarot reading to coincide with the lunar eclipse that's coming up this week. You should be feeling that or seeing that on the 17th of September. Now, I normally do daily readings, but I'm actually on holiday this week. So I am going to use this opportunity to just give one reading, and that is going to cover 4 different aspects of how this eclipse season is going to affect our love, our work, our health and our money. So I'm going to draw a card for each of those. So let's start with our health. Because obviously, you know, we've got to check in with ourselves when we have these big transformative energies coming around. So let's see what card we get for that. Okay, we've got the 2 of Wands. So that's an interesting card for health, because with the 2s, we get that kind of duality of our minds thinking one thing and then another. So, you know, this guy is sitting on the edge of a cliff. He can see that there's land there. There's a big expanse of water. So I do think there's a lot of thinking here of how he can get to the next stage of his life, how he can get to the next part. From a health point of view, you might be aware that you're recovering from an operation, or you might just be wanting to improve your health in some way. From a health perspective, you might just be looking for ways to improve your health. Maybe that's eating more healthily, drinking less alcohol. You might be thinking about taking more exercise or losing weight. Something that feels potentially like there's a lot to do, a lot from like where you are and where you want to be. But obviously, it's that potential, isn't it? The potential of creating and being the person that we want to be. I feel like that takes baby steps, but I also feel you can't really take baby steps when there's a big load of water. You'd probably get quite wet. So I feel this dragon is here to give us a little bit of support. So I do feel that, you know, with regards to any health issues over this eclipse season, you are not on your own, okay? And you have got support around you. It might not be a magical dragon. It might be a GP or a nurse or your family or, you know, a group that you've joined to help you achieve what you want with your own health. But you are definitely being supported in any ways in regards to that area of your life. So let's now look at work and see what we have coming up for that's going to transform. Don't forget, the energy we get for this lunar eclipse is going to stay with us for a while. The solar eclipse is in October, and between those 2 times, it is going to be a very big changes in our lives. Some of you might experience all of these. Some of you might just have 1 or 2. Okay, what we've got the Knight of Swords with our work, and I always feel the Knight of Swords is very adept at winning battles, but I do feel sometimes that can be quite mentally strenuous for him. I do feel like he stands up for what's right, and I do feel like we definitely want this person on our side, but I do feel the kind of responsibility of being the person that always has to stand up and speak. So I feel like potentially in your work situation, you might be the person that has to voice a concern, or you know, just speak out if you see that something's not going quite as it should, or morally there's something just not going on in the workplace. I do feel that this Knight of Swords is also showing movement. Obviously, he's on that magical horse. Got a bit of a theme here. I feel like these magical beings that are showing in these readings are the universe magically placing us where we need to be and drawing attention to what we need to change. But I do feel that this movement for the Knight of Swords in work does suggest that, you know, things are not going to stay the same. Potentially it might mean that somebody else is leaving your workplace and that you are now being asked to step into their shoes, which could feel a little bit worrying. I feel there's an idea of pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. So if you don't work in an office environment, this might need to be you going out promoting yourself in some way to gain work, to gain a contract of some kind. I feel like this Knight of Swords is having to show people why he's different from the rest of them. And, you know, we have to do that if we're advertising or marketing a business, but we also have to do that if we're going for a job interview or trying to prove ourselves in some way to win some work. So I do feel there's going to be a bit of a spotlight in having to push yourself forward in your work environment. And obviously, just going back to the health card, if that is the big expanse of water, it can be again just something to do with not overdoing it mentally and physically if you've got big challenges in your working life. So maybe pacing yourself or just being aware that you know, yes, you do have to step up and work hard, but you do also have to take care of yourself. Otherwise you'll never get to where you need to be. You will just burn out, and we don't want that. Okay, so let's look at money next then and see what card comes out there. Right, okay, we've got the Three of Swords. That's not a very encouraging sign, is it? This lady with the swords through her heart. But I feel like this is relationship with money, okay? So maybe there has been a time when you really feel like money has not helped you at all. I feel like this is growing and understanding how money doesn't have to be causing us so much hurt and so much anxiety. Obviously, in times when, you know, living costs are expensive, things are expensive, there's a lot of uncertainty in the world at the moment as well. So I do feel like this is relationship with money and taking responsibility for times in our lives when that relationship has gone wrong somehow. Maybe you have spent a bit too much in the past. Maybe you find money really overwhelming. Some people do. Even if they suddenly get a windfall or something, it can actually lead them to be feeling quite overwhelmed. I do feel that this is really tapping into how you feel about money, because actually money as an energy can really hold us back in our lives. I'm actually going to pick another card. Okay, yeah. I felt that this was very much about relationships and emotions and how money makes us feel. So I feel because this is a 3 going to a 4, we're being offered a much more stable relationship with our attitudes to money, with maybe our ways to acquire money, or just to see how money can work for us. But I do feel that this is shedding outworn issues of how some of us are, oh, I'm not very good with money, or I can't cope with money. And really that is a very limited way of working through the world, because we do need money every day. Maybe in your relationships, money is actually an issue with your children or your family or your loved ones. Maybe it comes up quite a lot and it's at the root of a lot of issues within your life. So I feel there's a lot of inner work that needs to be done around money during this eclipse. But I do feel that this 4 of Cups is just giving us that reassurance that when the solar eclipse, I feel like that's actually a solar eclipse rather than a crescent moon, but I feel like when the solar eclipse comes in October, there'll be a lot more stability and emotional stability around your relationships with money. So to save the best till last, let's have a look at love now, and how love is going to be showing up for us during this eclipse. I have said a few times over the last couple of weeks, there's going to be a spotlight on our relationships. So let's see who comes out for us. Oh, doesn't want to come out any of the cards. Don't want to. So this pack of tarot cards has a separate, as a different card that you would normally get with the tarot. So it's actually a 79 card pack. I'd actually forgotten this card was in here. All right, the unknown card. Wow, how's that for not giving away any spoilers? Okay, so the tarot is just saying, mind your own business. Well, what does that mean? Well, that can be quite frightening, can't it? And relationships can be quite frightening because they are unknown. whenever we start a new relationship, we don't know how it's going to go. You'd like to think that, you know, you're going to end up happily ever after, but you don't know. And I feel like the unknown, the not knowing is okay. I feel like you can embrace that unknown quantity of your life, or you can fear it. And I feel like this card has come out today, one, to just irritate us a little bit, but two, to remind us that we don't have to know everything. We don't have to know the answers. I'm also very drawn to this lady. She reminds me very much of the High Priestess. She's got a crystal ball there. She's got a raven. She's got a wand. It's a very spiritual, magical card. So, you know, she seems like a white witch to me, or just like, as I say, the High Priestess who's got that amazing intuition. So I feel like this is actually saying that where love is concerned, where relationships are concerned, you've really got to be guided by yourself and not spend too much time worrying about the unknowns. And when I say the unknowns, what the other person is doing, what the other person is thinking, whether that person, what they think about us, how this might unfold. Is this the one? Is this going to work? How am I going to be in 5 years? You can get yourself wrapped up in wanting to know all of those things, where actually, if you listen to your own heart, you probably know most of those answers anyway. Or at least know when things are going well or not going well, or going in line with something that actually you want out of your life. I do feel this lady is very powerful, and I do feel she's standing in her own power. So I do feel that that is a calling for us, not to put the power and the needs for love in the hands of other people, but to actually really think about what we want in a relationship, or how we want to be in a relationship, and be that person. Because when you're in your own power, energetically, your vibration raises, and anyone you're attracting into your life will be at that higher vibrational level. If you're living with anxiety and fear and worrying about the lack or what's not in your life, then obviously you're working at a very lower vibration, and you get people attracted to that maybe have not got your best interests at heart. So I hope that didn't frustrate you too much, that unknown card coming in. And I hope you have a wonderful week and enjoy the eclipse. Don't forget to charge your crystals. I'll be back next week when I'm back from holiday, and I will see you then. Okay, bye for now.